Professional Valorant has one major issue that is making the overall quality of pro teams significantly worse. You don't know what I'm talking about? Here, just look at this. This, and this for good measure. For me to be able to properly explain this, I'm gonna have to talk about 4 things: viewership, long-term plans, team structure, and the people trying to change how the sport is played. While talking about viewership, we have to hold a grain of salt the entire time, because Valorant is only 4 years old, just starting its 5th year this year. In 2022, Riot introduced Valorant to the world of esports. Teams were strung together by ex-CSGO pros and coaches, making the team scrappy, but entertaining nonetheless. Valorant's debut hit a peak viewership at Twitch Rivals, hitting an exceptional 692,000 live viewers.
Full bottom fragging for the team so far. They actually were on the attacking side doing really well. Scream, what the hell was that? That's 1 clip and 4 kills, and the 5th coming through! The ace comes through in 1 clip, and Scream.
The dark cover played right at the back of sight. Goes in for the res, though. That was ambitious. AZK gets 3. That's 4 total for AZK. Headshot with the op.
I didn't plan for you, so.
Wardell does have the blades. Gets 1 headshot on the baby. Gets 2. He's looking for the 3rd one. And he was trying to stick the plant there, but he saw him get off for a moment. And he can play this one out. And Wardell gets 3. Oh my goodness.
2021 is when the VCT would be started, but let's jump straight to Masters Reykjavik, where we start to meet some now familiar faces like Sentinels, Team Liquid, Fnatic, Crew, Version 1, alongside some other teams like Shark Esports and Crazy Raccoons. Reykjavik would peak at a viewership of 1.085 million, but this would not be the highest viewed tournament of the year. That would go to the first edition of Valorant Champions with 1.089 million live viewers at its peak. Okay. You guys get the point. Valorant was, and up until now, has been on a progressive incline in viewership. This only changed this year with America's Kickoff getting 553,000 viewers compared to last year's peak of 823,000 viewers. But since this is the first time viewership has been down, it's a little too early to say if this is a trend or just an outlier. Now we can talk about some long-term plans that Riot has for Valorant's professional scene. Let's start with Challengers, since Riot has focused so much on it this year. NA Challengers will now be seeing year-round tournaments with 16 teams and a revised point system to give more incentive to perform year-round, not just during key tournaments. They have also strived to change how Premier connects to Challengers, making more of a streamlined process for players and teams to convert over. Adding promotions to Premier makes it easier and smoother for players to be able to move over without having to stress about their rank to the same extent as before. Further expansion with the Esports World Cup allows more official tournaments for teams and players to compete in. Doing this also removes pressure to perform at key VCT tournaments, which could show a decline in overall competitiveness within the league. Finally, now that we have covered the background of VCT, we can talk about the major issue, which is the way that owners and coaches treat the dynamics of their teams. Remember what I showed you at the beginning of the video? Well, here, take a second look. Here, just look at this. This, and this for good measure. Do you see it now? We will break down MIBR and DRX first, as they are some of the more extreme examples of this issue. MIBR on an individual level could be in contest for one of the strongest teams in the league, but that there is the inherent issue. They are so new to each other and playing in such a way where it doesn't allow them to use fundamentals and work together. This could be blamed on the players to an extent, but as a coach, I will shift the blame to the coaching staff. Now, I can't read their minds and know if they're planning on keeping them for more than just a year and trying to turn them into a macro powerhouse, but with the way that the talent is being used currently, it doesn't seem likely. MIBR does have one issue though. Even with them buying some of the best talent in the region, they still did not win kickoff and make it to Bangkok. So let's now talk about DRX, who has been successful and had a decent performance at Bangkok. Now they are slightly older than MIBR, with one of their players being from 2022 and another being from mid-2024, with the rest being late 2024 and early 2025. The thing is, DRX works, and they have proven it. They have a coaching staff that focuses on playing 100% as a team, and being able to use that star power in rotation with getting new players, not relying on purely mechanics. DRX is an example of a team that makes this heavy rotation of new players in and out work on a regional stage, but have always struggled to transfer this over to the international level. You're probably thinking, so what? That's just 2 teams. Well, all the teams you see here have 3 or more players that have been on their team for less than 1 year. When you put them all side by side, it looks a lot worse. It's finally time to talk about the far and few in between who are trying to change the way teams are built and coached. EDG has one of, if not has the oldest Core 3 players in the league, with Chinchu, Nobody, and Kang Kang being together since September of 2021, with Smoggy joining them in 2022, meaning that 4 of the 5 players on EDG have been working together, learning about each other, learning how to communicate with each other for almost 2.5 years, longer than all the teams that I showed you earlier. Quick timeout. These players are all very, very good, and are all stars and mechanical geniuses, but the difference is that they were made together on EDG, not made to be a star on their own and then put together on EDG. Our last example is G2. Now, EDG has been in Tier 1 longer, and won more trophies, and is even the better team. But the biggest difference between G2 and EDG is Josh RT, G2's coach. Josh RT has made it clear on how he thinks about the current ways teams are put together.
Oh, what's up? But, Lev is a team that there's too much familiarity, and sometimes the players kind of just get a little muddy with the Valorant, and they just kind of like stoop down a little bit, and also like we know them outside of the game. So that is definitely a tough game for us.
He also talks a lot about and has been the main activist for a fundamental first coaching style, focusing on how to outsmart and outplay your opponent, not just out-mechanic them.
Today, we definitely fell short. I feel like the last 2 games, a lot of our identity and the team play and the fundamentals that we're known for definitely fell off.
G2 also has added chemistry from their Core 3 being together in Challengers with the Guard, alongside Josh RT, making it 3 years of fundamental and teamwork-based coaching. Now, there is an argument to say that Jogamo has been a vital component to G2, and this is true, but he has been incorporated in such a seamless way that did not seem to give any negative implications like the ones seen from other teams that acquire star players. As I'm recording this, Bangkok is still going on, and both G2 and EDG are in the playoffs, alongside Vitality and T1, with T1 being one of the most extreme examples of a young team made of superstars that is actually successfully working. But to be fair, they are being coached in a macro-first environment, which is still point proof to what I was saying. Since EDG will be facing T1 and G2 will be facing Vitality, it will be interesting to see what style of coaching and team building will come out on top when they face off. Shown by EDG and G2's success so far, using a fundamental long-term style of coaching while keeping a consistent core of players is likely and hopefully will be implemented by more and more teams throughout this coming year for the future of Valorant and its professional scene.
G2 gave it their all, but unfortunately, it's going to be a GG go next.